Hello, and welcome to the Mainstreet Show. I'm your host, Jonathan Fox, and today I'm joined by the Ashland City Chief of Police, Curt Dorsey. Chief Dorsey, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
To start off, can you tell me what made you want to join the police force in the first place?
Well, I had a dad that was in law enforcement, so obviously I grew up watching him show up in uniform at the house and just kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps. And honestly, it was kind of one of those things that came easy. I sort of always knew that that's what I was going to do. And I attribute that to him, just seeing that. And he instilled in me, helping people. And I do feel like it's a calling, and I felt called to do it as well. So,
Can you explain how you achieved the position of Chief of Police?
well, so a little bit of it is logistics. So the civil service rules for the city of Ashland allow for a lieutenant or above to test for the position. And it was a position that I never sought. I would have never guessed even 5 years ago that this would have been a possibility. I always wanted to be a detective. My dad was a detective, and you can kind of see where that's going, So I became a detective in 2017, and then started going through the promotional process. I became a sergeant, and then shortly after applied to or tested to be a lieutenant. And then once I became a lieutenant, the possibility of chief became a reality. So I tested, did well on the test, interviewed with the mayor, and ultimately was selected. So it's not a fairy tale type of story. It's just kind of happened. Again, it wasn't something that I aspired to be, but the opportunity presented itself, and I was told throughout my career that, by people I trusted and respected, that I would do a good job. So I went for it, and here we are.
For curious viewers, can you tell us more about what you do as Chief of Police?
Well, so a lot of it is policy review. We have made some changes since I took over on January 30th. So policy review and kind of doing some things for the officers as far as like officer wellness. And I believe that, a healthy officer responding to a call is going to handle a call better than someone who's unhealthy or unhappy in their lives. So a lot of my focus has been changing that culture in the police division, and frankly in the profession nationwide. Of course, we're a small piece here in Ashland, but the goal is to kind of give those officers some purpose and make sure that they're responding in a healthy way. A lot of it too is stuff I didn't expect, well, I shouldn't say I didn't expect, but it was a little more than I expected. Some of the budgetary items, of course, we're using taxpayer dollars, so we need to be good stewards of that money and those sorts of things. And I guess those are the biggest things. Like I said, the policy changes, the budgetary items. If I could just add to that as well, I've been blessed to be able to be a part of the bigger picture in city government, because we have what are called senior leadership team meetings. So being a part of that has been really nice and really cool, because you get to see all the other divisions in the city that are really good leaders. I mean, it's good leadership, and this city truly does serve the community very well. So that's been a blessing for me to see and be able to experience.
What qualities do you feel all police officers should hold, especially those wanting to become a chief of police in the future?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the biggest thing, and it's been a pet peeve my entire career, is basically leave your ego in check. Humility is one of the biggest things, and you also have to have empathy. People are going through some of the worst times of their life, and to some police officers, it's just another call, right? I mean, we deal with calls on a daily basis, so you have to maintain that empathy and again, that humility, I would say those are the biggest things for me.
Why is being chief of police important to you?
Well, I guess, I kind of touched on it earlier. I would say the culture of just specifically our police department. And that's not to say that it was a bad culture, but it could have been improved, and that's my goal, is just to kind of, again, not to rehash it, but to make the officers want to come to work and be happy that they're with our division, and the retention is important to me, and so I think that's the biggest thing.
And what excites you most about your new position as chief of police?
Just being able to implement the change. The mayor is great as far as not micromanaging, and he kind of lets me run the division how I see fit. So having the ability to implement the change and kind of set that culture in the correct way has been the best so far.
Well, looks like that's all the time we have for today. Chief Dorsey, thank you again for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
That will be it for this episode of the Mainstreet Show. Please make sure to follow us across all social media platforms at AUTV Ashland. I'm your host, Jonathan Fox. Thanks for watching.